I'm Ollie. I'm a recovering addict alcoholic. I'm from the San Francisco Bay Area. By the time I decided I need help, I was in total isolation. I had had my fun here and there. I'm not really the party kind of guy. It looked very much like isolating myself in my room and wallowing in my own misery. Well, when I decided I needed some help, I started calling people in the area, and Golden Gate was actually the first people who got back to me. I actually came into Golden Gate not knowing anything about getting sober or recovery in general, so this is my first stint in recovery. Hopeless. Life was unmanageable. I had no direction in what I wanted to do or where I was going to go. I thought where I was at was where I was going to stay, and it took some certain things in my life to get me to a point where I needed to tell myself I needed some help. I've got 10 and a half months, 317 days today, one day at a time. It's a 90-day program. I stayed there for 120 days. What surprised me the most was how welcoming and happy people seemed to be when I came in there. And I hadn't got that for a long time before coming into Golden Gate Recovery. My first 3 weeks at Golden Gate Recovery, I was doing IOP, which would be living at home and going to the facility 5 days a week. And I found it triggering to be in my home where I did most of my using and my drinking and still being in the same environment. So I thought it was necessary for me to move into a sober living. And when I got there, I was surrounded by guys who had the same problem, going through the same thing that I was doing. So it was a team thing. We're all looking towards the same goal. Well, I go to AA meetings at least 3 times a week. I have a sponsor. I work the steps. My sponsor encouraged me to pray and meditate, which I don't do all the time, but I practice. And I take care of my physical health by working out and participating in my hobbies that fell off in my addiction.
You sponsoring anybody?
Not at the moment, but we're hoping to get there pretty soon.
They put pressure on for you?
Yeah, a little bit. I think you definitely got to avoid your previous environment that you're in. Try to get as far away from that as possible to get your mind clear. I practice staying away from HALT, which is hungry, angry, lonely, and tired. Those things will take you out and make you want to use or drink so quickly you won't even realize. 3 to 5 meetings a week. I know people in the rooms. I go there to see people. I meet with my sponsor and go to meetings with him. I go to outings, sober events, and stuff like that. Well, what I do is I take a step back. I think about what's the underlying problem, why I'm feeling the way I am, and I pick up the phone. They teach you to stay connected, to not isolate. Me being an isolator, I wasn't used to that. So I pick up the phone, I call people like my sponsor, my housemates, people I went through rehab with, or people I've met in the program, and they talk you through it, and before you know it, you're not even thinking about your problems anymore. It's just It's just how the house is. It's a way of life, you know. When you're in a SLE, sober living environment, you're expected to make your bed every day. You're responsible for a chore. You have a curfew. You get drug tested. And all that is just normal right now. It kind of took a little bit to get into the swing of things, but you have a house manager who will keep you accountable, and everyone else around you in the house will keep you accountable. They'll show you the ways. Well, being sober has definitely kept me hopeful for the future. I feel like now I have a purpose in life. You know, we go through the things we do to, you know, hopefully one day help the next person who's going through something similar. So there's a lot of hope today. The groups that they hold were very helpful to me regarding triggers and how to avoid triggers, relapse prevention. But the thing that stood out to me was everyone's assigned a counselor, and the one-on-one counseling was especially useful for me. I'd been through therapy, but something about talking about addiction specifically was something that I really needed, and having someone actually listening to me who had been there before.